Welcome to my Altès Etude project. Many of you likely know that I recorded the first 15 Altès Etudes during the winter over the holiday break, kind of in place of doing my normal Christmas gigs, Nutcracker, things like that. I wanted to keep busy playing, and I figured I'd get back to these and record the last Etudes whenever I had time in my schedule. Well, it's been pretty busy. I'm not going to do the same thing where I recorded one every 3 days, but I'm going to fit another etude in whenever I can. So if you are interested in following this and you want to hear each new etude that comes along, be sure that you're subscribed to my channel and ring the notification bell so that you'll be notified as soon as I publish each new etude. You won't have to keep checking in to see if the next one has come along. Today we're doing etude number 16. We already have 1 through 15 in a playlist if those are helpful. If you look at the beginning of number 16, you'll see some of the challenges that Altès is focusing on in this etude right away. The first thing is the key signature. There are lots of sharps, and as you go through this etude, you will see that there are also quite a few double sharps along the way. Be sure you catch all of those, especially in the trills and the little grace notes. There are a lot of double sharps that are really buried and hard to see because they're attached to grace notes. So really keep your eyes peeled and catch all those sharps and double sharps. The other thing that you'll see right at the beginning of the etude, if you know what to look for, is that there's a challenge with note values. You have these 30-second note runs followed by longer notes, quarter notes, and half notes. So the challenge here that Altès is presenting to you is to keep the pulse steady, keep your 30 seconds honest compared to your quarters. People are usually tempted to make the quarters, or especially the half notes, too fast compared to the 30-second notes. Definitely check in with a metronome. You can tell that this is on Altès' mind because if you look at the duet part, which we mentioned before, if you happen to get the Altès complete method, in volume 2 of that complete method, these etudes all have duet parts. So the duet part that goes with this etude features heavily a very steady pulse, many quarter notes. This is both an aid and an indication that it's a test. He's aiding you to be steady, and those quarter notes are testing your 30 seconds and quarters to be sure that they are right proportionally. The next challenge is trills. There are trills all over the place. I already mentioned, be sure that you're trilling to and from the right pitches. Don't guess. And the other thing is, don't guess on your trill fingerings. Don't rely on your teacher to correct things. Get a trill chart that you trust. I did an episode, Trill Tricks and Traps, that can maybe help you to be sure that you're doing all the right trills, but also just have a chart and use it. I'm not just saying this out of consideration for all those teachers that won't want to correct all of your trills. I'm also saying this for you because if you are proactive looking up those trill fingerings and they're not just spoon-fed to you by a teacher or a mentor, you will remember them much better. You want to get to know your trill fingerings every bit as well as your note fingerings so that you come to a trill and you're not ever guessing how to finger it. And if you have proactively looked it up and learned it, maybe written it into your part, you will remember it better than if your teacher does that job for you. As always, decide where you want to breathe. Don't just breathe randomly when you're out of air. There are a lot of breath marks given to you in this edition, but you will have to come up with others as well. Be sure that your breaths always support your musical intentions, especially your phrasing, and it's not just a random event that you have to stuff in there because you're out of air. Then, if you look at the third page, you have something very strange and unusual for an etude. You have a cadenza. So enjoy your cadenza. Be sure here that you're making the cadenza sound very different from the rest of the etude. We talked about the necessity of being very disciplined with especially counting in the rest of the etude. This is where you can depart from that. At the beginning of the cadenza, you have an indication a piacere. If you don't know what that means, go look it up. Most of this cadenza, you can do whatever you want. Remember that a cadenza is to show off. So make it flashy and impressive. Just do follow the few indications that Altès gives you, a lunga here, a poco allegretto there, a rapido at the end. But otherwise, really put your stamp on it. Make it sound different from the rest of the etude. And again, it's good to know what the duet part is doing. The second flute in the duet part here drops out for the cadenza. So it's a true cadenza. You're alone, you can do whatever you want. The final thing I'd say about this etude is to enjoy the fact that the indicated tempos are really not that fast. I think Altès decided here that the combination of sharps and note values and trills was enough to worry about without telling you to go as fast as humanly possible. So enjoy that break because so often he really challenges his students and us with speed. Enjoy going at a tempo that is not too crazy. And if you found this video useful, if this is helpful to you in your practice, please like the video, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you'll know as soon as I upload etude number 17. Have a great time playing Altès.